U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight with regards to UAPs.
The universe is immense and filled with unanswered questions, especially about whether we are alone in it. Many scientists believe there is no clear evidence of life beyond Earth, yet some people are convinced that aliens are real and have visited us.
The granite in the Great Pyramid comes from more than 500 miles to the south. Those blocks on the roof of the King's Chamber weigh 70 tons each. I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level. I think we're looking, again, at a lost technology.
David Grush argues that the United States government has been interacting with unidentified flying objects and has kept this information hidden from the public. Why is the United States government keeping these dark puzzles hidden? Let us explore why aliens are taking over in a few days thanks to an indifferent government. A powerful alien among us? Reports of unidentified flying objects continue to be shared widely.
Unidentified objects shot down by fighter jets just miles off the coast of Alaska yesterday,
leading to ongoing debates about their origins and intentions, whether they are here for observation purposes or maybe blending in subtly with human society. Opinions among the public are sharply divided. Some argue that these sightings are supported by multiple trustworthy individuals, while others believe that there are direct and covert interactions between government officials and beings from other planets, hinting at a hidden coexistence with these life forms here on Earth. The common view among both skeptics and believers is that government agencies have access to much more information than they let on. David Charles Grush is a prominent figure in discussions about government secrecy. As a highly decorated veteran of combat and former intelligence officer in the Air Force, Grush first became known during his time serving in the Afghanistan conflict. After completing his military career, he went on to join both the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office. From 2019 to 2021, he represented the National Reconnaissance Office on the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, and from late 2021 until July 2022, he served as a lead analyst at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, while continuing his liaison work with the same task force. During his time at the National Reconnaissance Office and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, David Charles Grush was instrumental in shaping United States policies regarding potential interactions with aliens. He notably had a hand in creating the National Defense Authorization Act of 2023, which requires that sightings of unidentified flying objects be reported. His extensive background in national security and intelligence gives him a significant perspective on the ongoing discussions about humanity's role in the universe and our interactions with possible extraterrestrial beings. This conversation is characterized by an increasing urgency and a push for more openness about one of humanity's most compelling challenges. David Charles Grush is widely recognized as someone with profound knowledge about encounters with unidentified flying objects. It's well known that government operations are often not publicized, encompassing everything from scientific research to hidden missions. Much of the activity that occurs within the confines of government institutions is not shared with the public. However, there are individuals within these institutions who feel a strong duty to bring some of these hidden activities to light. They strive to reveal some of the less visible government actions, advocating for greater openness and sharing of information. This call for transparency is part of a larger push to better understand our place in the universe and the nature of our interactions with potentially otherworldly beings. In 2023, David took it upon himself to reveal a number of undisclosed activities carried out by the government.
I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
This initiative took off on June 5th, 2023, when independent journalists Ralph Blumenthal and Leslie Keene published a detailed article on The Debrief, a media platform known for exposing insider information and government cover-ups. Their piece detailed David's claims about an ongoing government plot to conceal its dealings with extraterrestrial vehicles.
He has very, very high security clearances. So we don't know what he saw or touched or, was aware of. But certainly, as Leslie says, it's more than hearsay, because he put on the record and signed statements and testified under oath that he has this information, this knowledge directly, and he participated in the programs. And plus, his credentials are amazing. We had people vouching for him. We've seen his performance reports. So he is the real thing.
The impact of their publication was rapid and widespread, catching the attention of major news organizations like the Washington Post, which decided to delve deeper into these allegations. Despite this, many leading media outlets chose to overlook the story, likely due to pressure from influential groups aiming to decrease the story's exposure to sidestep public scrutiny and potential consequences. To support David's assertions, Keene interviewed Carl Nell, a retired Army colonel and former member of the Unidentified Flying Objects Task Force, along with an unnamed individual who is currently working as a United States intelligence official at the National Air and Space Intelligence Center. Nell praised David for his steadfast honesty and endorsed his assertions about covert operations involving the retrieval of unidentified flying objects and the reverse engineering of alien technology. Among David's most alarming accusations were those about a highly covert initiative aimed at retrieving unidentified flying objects and storing extraterrestrial spacecraft. He also alleged that the government has in its possession the remains of non-human pilots, which points to a significant cover-up meant to obscure the true nature of these extraterrestrial undertakings. These disclosures raise critical questions about transparency and ethical conduct at the highest levels of government. They suggest that the government is not only aware of, but actively engaged with technologies and beings from other worlds, all the while deliberately keeping the public unaware and in the dark. This situation emphasizes the ongoing conflict between those striving to uncover the truth and those determined to keep it hidden. In an interview, David explicitly stated that the government doesn't just conceal information, it deeply buries it.
What we're witnessing right now is, quite frankly, the greatest legislative failure in American history. You had a very strong amendment for government transparency on this issue. Whether you believe my allegations or not, this is a government transparency issue at large.
He claimed that the government has gone so far as to eliminate individuals who posed a threat of exposing their operations related to aliens. Just 2 days after stirring up widespread discussion, David gave an interview to LA Persian, a prominent French media outlet. During the interview, he proposed the idea that unidentified flying objects might not only be traversing through space, but might also be coming from other dimensions, a truly mind-bending possibility. He mentioned discussions with heads of intelligence agencies who had observed alien spacecraft as large as football fields. David also disclosed that the government had moved some of this interdimensional craft to a private defense contractor's facility for hidden evaluations. As one might expect, the rumors about David's disclosures spread quickly. Ultimately, this led to his summons to testify before Congress on July 26, 2023. During this session, he openly discussed the government's inclination towards opacity, particularly concerning their interactions with extraterrestrial technology and entities. Let's follow David Grush, determined to uncover why the government is so covert about unidentified aerial phenomena. Shocking alien revelations. The entire situation has people wondering about the United States government's intense focus on keeping information about aliens under wraps. Are they just being extremely cautious, or is there something bigger at play? It raises questions as to why it seems harder to get clear information about what's flying in our skies than it is to break into Fort Knox. David's involvement wasn't limited to just working on unidentified flying object projects at the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. He also served at the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, becoming a whistleblower when he felt that the secrecy had crossed ethical boundaries. In May 2022, he submitted a presidential policy directive, 119 Urgent Concern, with the intelligence community's Inspector General. He was alarmed because numerous high-ranking and credible individuals from the military and intelligence sectors were suggesting that the United States government was overtly covert, effectively evading congressional oversight in a highly skilled manner when it came to matters involving unidentified flying objects. Over 4 years, David managed to have conversations with more than 40 witnesses. These individuals were not ordinary witnesses. They were experts in their fields and provided strong support for the existence of a long-hidden government operation focused on collecting wreckage from unidentified flying objects and attempting to understand and replicate the advanced technology found within these crafts. David described the government's storage facilities as veritable galleries of extraterrestrial vehicles that have been gathered over many years, with the complete details of these operations being more closely guarded than ancient relics. When asked for more specifics, David confirmed that the United States has indeed recovered non-human biological samples from the pilots of these alien crafts. This information wasn't just coming from him. It was corroborated by individuals who were deeply involved in these operations, including some who were actively participating at the time. The congressional hearing where this was discussed turned into an extended and intense session. David, along with others who were intent on exposing these activities, did not hold back. They presented what they believed to be solid evidence of the government's covert actions in monitoring, scouting, and retrieving unidentified flying objects. The atmosphere intensified when a representative threw an unexpected question at David, inquiring whether he was aware of any injuries or harm caused during these covert operations. David hinted at having witnessed certain events but refrained from going into detail, citing the sensitive nature of the information. While this theory might seem stretched, it opens the door to the notion that such a significant and hidden discovery could potentially lead to major global conflicts. This idea taps into the speculative possibility that historically significant events could have otherworldly influences that are not publicly acknowledged or understood. David's suggestion stirred up considerable interest and debate among listeners, perfectly aligning with the podcast's reputation for delving into unconventional and thought-provoking topics. Whether listeners believed his claims or not, his bold assertions and the intriguing contexts he provided made for a compelling discussion, prompting audiences to ponder the broader implications of such hidden histories and their potential impact on global events. David's story also brings into focus the remote and largely unexplored reaches of Antarctica, a continent that remains one of the last uncharted areas of the world, devoid of an indigenous human population and wrapped in a veil of icy isolation. The narrative becomes even more intriguing with mentions of unidentified flying objects, Nazis, and covert operations such as Operation High Jump. This operation, which is often depicted in stories as an American initiative in Antarctica, is rumored to have encountered Nazi technology related to unidentified flying objects, elements that seem lifted straight from a science fiction story. A few years ago, comedian Sam Tripoli discussed on Joe Rogan's podcast how Operation High Jump might not have been merely an expedition to the cold Antarctic, but a clandestine United States mission that discovered evidence of sophisticated Nazi technology in the form of unidentified flying objects. Indeed, Operation High Jump was an actual post, World War II United States Navy project in Antarctica that concluded quite suddenly in 1947. Whenever such narratives emerge on Joe's podcast, they captivate listeners and fuel the creative thoughts of conspiracy theorists across the globe. These stories, whether they turn out to be factual or drift into the category of contemporary legends, undoubtedly provide fascinating material for discussion. They stimulate the audience's curiosity and keep them wondering about the puzzles that might be concealed beneath the vast ice sheets of Antarctica or locked away within the confines of government archives. Commissioned by the administration of President Harry S. Truman shortly after World War II, Operation High Jump was initiated with the ambitious goal of exploring Antarctica to assess its potential for United States military bases. The question arises, why Antarctica? Essentially, it was one of the last uncharted territories on Earth, and with the Soviet Union emerging as a significant new adversary, the United States was eager to establish a presence wherever possible, even if that meant staking a claim on a vast, frozen desert. Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd was chosen to lead this formidable expedition. Armed with a fleet of 13 warships, approximately 4,700 military personnel, and a squadron of aircraft, Byrd's task was to evaluate the feasibility of establishing a military outpost at the southernmost point of the world. However, the narrative takes an unexpected turn into what sounds like the plot of a science fiction novel. On Joe Rogan's podcast, comedian Sam Tripoli shared a story, supposedly based on Byrd's own journals, about encountering Nazi-engineered unidentified flying objects hidden in the icy expanses.
So the U.S. government's like, something's going on with Antarctica. There's some activity up there. We want to find out what's going on. So they send this cat named Admiral Byrd up to investigate with a giant fleet, just a fleet to go bang, bro. And according to his journal that they found much later, he basically met with UFOs, Nazi UFOs.
Adding to the intrigue, there were tales of Nazis allegedly collaborating with extraterrestrials, utilizing advanced alien technology during World War II. According to these stories, once the war ended, this technology was abandoned in Antarctica. When the leaders of Operation High Jump stumbled upon this alien technology, it reportedly caused enough concern to reach the White House. Allegedly, this led to President Truman negotiating agreements that allowed extraterrestrials to conduct experiments within United States national parks and forests, transforming peaceful natural settings into the backdrops of science fiction nightmares. These rumors suggest that the operation's concerns extended beyond merely preventing alien technology from falling into Soviet hands at the onset of the Cold War. It was also about managing the public's perception and controlling the technology to avoid worldwide panic. Fast forward to David's explosive discussions with Joe Rogan, where he alluded to the first discovery of an unidentified flying object being a significant event. However, the details of this discovery remained as elusive as a foggy night in San Francisco, with no clear information about who exactly made the find, the size of the object, or the specifics of the encounter. Get ready to challenge what you think is real as we look into claims of advanced technology and extraterrestrial influences that turn science fiction into reality. The indifferent silence of governments. David's reserved commentary left many questions unanswered, yet indicated that this discovery was significantly impactful, marking a critical juncture in the United States government's engagement with phenomena that had not been fully explained. Although he was not able to provide detailed information, he hinted at multiple unidentified flying object crashes over the years, suggesting that there have been at least 10 such incidents. This revelation introduces a complex network of clandestine operations, speculative agreements with extraterrestrial entities, and unexplained aerial vehicles found in remote areas. Whether these accounts represent verifiable facts or merely speculative narratives from the icy terrains of Antarctica, they contribute additional complexity to a situation that even the most experienced intelligence agents might struggle to decode. And for those venturing into our national parks, perhaps carrying an additional flashlight might not be a bad idea, just in case. David's narratives about hidden discoveries involving unidentified flying objects are not particularly new, but echo stories that have been circulating for decades, even nearing a century. His claims are bolstered by confirmation from a prominent figure, the late Harry Reid, a Democratic senator from Nevada and former Senate Majority Leader during President Barack Obama's administration. Senator Reid was no ordinary senator. He was a member of the so-called Gang of Eight. This select group of congressional leaders received the highest level of security briefings directly from the executive branch, granting them access to some of the most sensitive national security information. Now, here's where the story takes an even more intriguing turn. David claims that he had a lengthy conversation with Senator Harry Reid about 9 months before the senator passed away. David revealed that Senator Reid was surprisingly knowledgeable about topics that you might not expect a political leader to be aware of. Despite his prominent position in the Senate, Reid was initially kept out of the loop regarding the specifics of unidentified flying objects and alien information for many years. However, according to David, Reid had plans to discuss these issues related to extraterrestrial phenomena with President Joe Biden during their regular weekly conversations. Tragically, Reid's death meant these discussions never happened, leaving a promising avenue of inquiry abruptly closed, without any further exploration possible. Despite this setback, David was able to glean some significant information from his conversations with Reid. One major revelation was about Lockheed Martin, the enormous defense company, which, according to David, was involved in much more than just manufacturing advanced military aircraft. He learned that Lockheed Martin was actively involved in reverse engineering technology, retrieved from unidentified flying object crash sites. It makes sense that if the United States government needed someone to dissect and understand alien technology, Lockheed Martin would be a natural choice. The company has long been involved in highly classified projects for the Department of Defense, often dealing with cutting-edge technology that is not publicly disclosed. David's revelations, bolstered by confirmation from a well-respected figure like Harry Reid, peel back multiple layers of the ongoing narrative surrounding unidentified flying objects. This information provides a glimpse into the potentially profound depth of involvement by the government and defense contractors in activities that are far from public view. The situation resembles a classic film noir, where it seems everyone involved knows more than they are willing to reveal. In this covert world, David stands out as an exception. He's not just hinting at undisclosed information, he's actively sharing what he knows. Let's delve deeper into the whole unidentified flying object and alien topic. It appears quite evident that the United States government has long been aware of extraterrestrial beings and unidentified flying objects. Instead of sharing what they know, they keep everything very hidden, far from the curious eyes of the general public. According to David, there's a whole network involved in this veil of secrecy, including high-ranking government officials, major defense contractors, and a select group of corporations that are privy to the existence of extraterrestrial technology. These insiders are likely quite excited about the potential commercial gains from this advanced technology. The question of whether extraterrestrial beings had a hand in constructing the pyramids is an old one, as people have long been fascinated with our origins and the puzzles of our history. David has been outspoken about these issues, revealing what he knows about government cover-ups. However, he's not alone in his quest to uncover the truth about our past interactions with extraterrestrial beings. Graham Hancock is another figure who believes that humanity's history is closely intertwined with visits from extraterrestrial beings. Unlike David, who focuses on contemporary cover-ups by governments, Graham investigates the idea that extraterrestrial beings were not merely visitors, but perhaps the original rulers of our planet before humans became the dominant species. Graham Hancock is a British researcher and author who has written extensively about ancient civilizations and human origins. His ideas have been largely dismissed by mainstream scientists, who often categorize his theories as more fiction than fact.
Now, there's masses of material in the series about the possibility of a lost civilization and presenting the evidence for a lost civilization.
Despite this, Graham maintains that there was a highly advanced civilization during the Ice Age, which he believes set the foundations for all modern societies. According to his theories, this advanced civilization was destroyed by a catastrophic event, similar in scale to the one that is believed to have wiped out the dinosaurs. However, he posits that a few survivors managed to escape the disaster, preserving their knowledge and possibly some extraterrestrial technology, which they then passed down to the early humans who followed. As the story goes on, we look at old myths and great buildings that might show us our real roots and our ties to the stars. Did aliens build the pyramids? Graham Hancock's theory proposes that extraterrestrial beings might have influenced the fundamental elements of human culture. He argues that various myths from different cultures about elves, nymphs, gods, and other supernatural entities are actually historical accounts of encounters with aliens. In essence, the fantastical creatures of folklore might have been extraterrestrial visitors, the same beings we speculate about in contemporary discussions on alien life. To support his expansive theories, Graham points to impressive architectural achievements like the pyramids of Giza. These pyramids are not celebrated as one of the 7 wonders of the world merely for their aesthetic appeal. Graham suggests they could be evidence of extraterrestrial influence or inspiration. As we continue to ponder the existence of life on Mars or other planets, Graham posits that humanity itself might have been a project or experiment of advanced intergalactic civilizations long ago. This idea might seem far-fetched, but in the realm of alien conspiracy theories, the boundaries of possibility are often stretched to their limits. Now consider the pyramids themselves. These magnificent structures continue to baffle many as to how ancient civilizations, with their limited technology and without modern machinery like cranes, could have constructed such massive and precisely aligned structures. While the prevailing view among historians and archaeologists is that the ingenious ancient Egyptians engineered these wonders through sheer human ingenuity and labor, Graham challenges this notion. He suggests that it wasn't just human effort that erected these iconic monuments, but also alien intelligence and technology that played a crucial role. According to him, these weren't mere feats of human engineering, but rather collaborations between humans and more technologically advanced alien beings. Back in 2022, during an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast that likely raised more than a few eyebrows, Graham Hancock shared his views in detail. He suggested that the pyramids of Giza are not just historical marvels, but bear distinct signs of advanced extraterrestrial influence in their construction. He added an intriguing twist by mentioning a catastrophic event he believes might have erased all traces of alien technology and expertise from Earth. If his theories hold any water, they could explain why even today's brightest minds are puzzled by the construction techniques of these ancient architectural feats. Graham talks a lot about his ideas that aliens visited Earth long ago. He even made a show on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse to share his thoughts. In this show, he travels to old places around the world, like Egypt, to look at old objects that he thinks might prove aliens were here before us. One item he finds interesting is a medallion from an ancient Egyptian king, Akhenaten, who was the father of the famous young king Tutankhamun. This necklace has a big design on it that Graham and some others think might show an alien. While some people see it as just art, or a symbol of the sun god or Queen Nefertiti, Graham believes it actually shows an alien being. Graham thinks that this alien inspired Akhenaten to make big changes in Egyptian culture and build huge things like the pyramids. He also wonders why our schools and books don't talk about these alien ideas. He thinks that the people in charge of history are keeping these stories secret on purpose. Graham encourages everyone to think differently when they read history books or go to museums. He believes that there's a lot more to our history, maybe even parts that involve aliens. He sees studying history as solving a big, mysterious puzzle, where each piece might change how we understand our past. He thinks there's still a lot to discover that could completely change our view of history. Is the government actually concealing mind-blowing alien technology? Or is David's tale just stoking the flames of our cosmic imaginations? Share your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the debate for more thrilling revelations.